And welcome, everybody. This feels a little bit odd sitting in Anna's chair.
It does.
And how are you, Mr. King?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Feeling a lot better at chess than I usually am.
Yeah. Well, I'm Danny Rensch, and one of the things that I do at Chess.com when I'm not doing shows is work closely along this guy here, who is Gerard Le-Marechal, and he's the head of Fair Play and Cheat Detection. Why don't you describe for everybody quickly what it is? Take us through a day in the life of the person who looks at more cheat reports, has to review more games, and make more kind of critical assessments about whether people are playing cleanly than anybody on the planet.
Right. I generally just slog through a load of cases every day and take a load of complaints and requests from everyone on Chess.com and work through whatever could be cheating and isn't cheating, and separate through those analyses and submit analyses and all of those. And then I also head up a small team of people who do the same sort of thing. So working through algorithms as well with Roland, who is the person who works on our systems basically.
Roland Walker is kind of their partners in crime. I would describe Roland as sort of the professor behind our data, and Gerard more as the detective who's on the streets catching the violators. That'd be a good way to say it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So how long have you been with Chess.com?
Since 2014 now, yeah.
Okay.
And I was doing pro bono work before that as well.
I know the answers to these questions, but I'm pretending not to.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're going to do here, and again, if you're just joining us, everybody, we are here to talk about cheating in chess and about what it is that Chess.com does sort of behind the scenes, and answer any of your questions that you may have as best as we can, as detailed as we can, diving into Ask Away. So from controversial cases of we'll answer as best as we can to if those of you that are maybe more intrigued by the topic of statistical analysis in chess, what exactly is the difference between what Chess.com does versus standard, we call it T1, T2 analysis, where everybody considers themselves their own cheat detective, and why is it that we feel confident to be able to close title players specifically, and what exactly are we doing with that? So I'm going to be peeking at the Twitch chat here, but you can also tweet at us using the hashtag Isle of Man Chess, IOM Chess. And ask away. So Gerard and I are going to be here for about another 10-15 minutes to help. We're really just giving Danny and Anna a break.
Field questions.
They're working so hard. But, okay, so I'm gonna try to scroll through here, and we're not gonna be mentioning people by name, and that's something that is a pretty standard thing anyway. That's not something we can do, But we will go into a lot of data in specific cases. I'm looking for questions in chat. Maybe okay. If you're just gonna yell loudly about that you don't like people that cheat, we agree with you.
Oh, so here's the question. So do you detect cheating automatically, or does someone have to submit a complaint?
Okay, go.
So ultimately, we have automatic systems running all the time that catches a large number of people, but those are only the really blatant cases that we can automatically ban. The very difficult cases are the ones that we need a human review to actually dig into and find out.
And a big part of that is partly for our own protection and assurances. I would say that over the years, as we've improved the systems, we do get to the level now where often we look at a report and are very confident right away whether somebody's clean or dirty, but in order to keep our own selves in check, reviewing the games manually is a requirement because we want to make sure that we're not being misled, that there isn't something wrong in the algorithm. There's a number of reasons that we have to do that for title players, but the system itself is pretty accurate right away. Yeah,
we absolutely want to keep ourselves to a standard, to make sure that we're not closing people inaccurately or making rash decisions in any sense. So it would be a really bad thing to close someone who wasn't cheating. That's something we never really want to do. So we want to err in the direction of allowing certain numbers of cheaters for a small amount of time before we end up acting, just in case we were to, in that time frame, ban someone illegitimately.
And to answer, I know you write reports on this, but I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. And it's something that we actually plan to do a much more aggressive job from a PR perspective in 2019, letting people know. But describe for us in a day, in a week, how many people are we automatically closing for cheating?
Automatically, that would probably be per day. I think it's about 70, 80 people we close for cheating or just automatically. But the number of reports we run is incredible. So everything's getting sent into the analysts, and they can very quickly go through reports. Like you can get through about 150 bans just in 1 hour, or up to 200 sometimes. And so, it's a very quick system that we have that just finds people who might be suspicious and sends in very quick analyses.
One question was earlier: how many title players have we closed for cheating? You know this number, right?
I do know this number. Is it okay to say?
Go ahead. Yeah.
It's in like the hundreds. I think it's about 250.
250.
Yeah.
I know we have our secret spreadsheet where we keep the list of all of them, but I think we can share that. We've closed 250 title players for cheating. And here's a great question from Chess Bay, the legend herself, saying everyone thinks just of Centrepointe analysis. They're used to lead chess evals. Can you explain what we do differently?
Well, not without going into a bit
Explain
of detail.
a little bit.
We don't use Centrepointe because I think average Centrepointe ends up being a really poor metric.
And why is that?
It doesn't get to the nub of what is actually cheating when you go into you can get 1,000 plies of average Centrepoints and still not have a very accurate prediction of what is cheating or what isn't cheating.
Right.
So I would say that that's something that other servers may want to shy away from and dig into a different kind of system. Maybe I don't know. And
partly it's because of the average taking it wouldn't be efficient for us to catch cheaters fast enough if we were only using the Centrepointe approach. I can say that.
Right. Yes. Oh yeah. So it would probably take about 50 games to be sure if you were using that system.
And so one of our biggest goals, especially as we've invested in more events and tried to create more fun opportunities, but you can't have both, right? You can't try to create something that matters more than just standard blitz games online and not also be able to tell the best title players in the world that, okay, if we can't prevent crime, we could catch it. And so relying on averages and Centrepointe evals takes too much time and essentially too many plies to be sure within a short tournament.
Yeah. Naturally, we are using the Centrepoints, the Stockfish eval or whatever engine eval comes out with. But we're not using the average of that. We're using a different method.
Why do they ban permanently? I really miss my main account. I think someone just admitted to cheating on Twitch.
That seems like a troll.
Okay. I don't know.
That's funny.
I don't know. Maybe not, because they're...
Do I watch the TCEC as a question? Yes, I do. I like that a lot. I like computer versus computer chess quite a bit. It's a lot of fun.
Someone said I was given 6 points back on a correspondence game last week, and he didn't even complain. He didn't suspect his opponent was cheating. Well, I think that's a compliment. That means we're doing our job, and hopefully other people have also recognized that sometimes they are rewarded with points back.
And then sometimes people can cheat on very specific moves that you may not even be able to know that they cheated on, but our systems have a slightly deeper way of knowing, and because we pick up a lot more data than you are aware of just as a user. So that might be the case.
BJH wants to know, if improperly flagged, what is the general recourse to solve the issue? I assume he's asking if somebody is...
we have an appeal system that you can go in. So you write into support. If you have had your account closed and you know that you didn't cheat, you can write into support, and they will feed the case to the analysts and say, look into this case more deeply, and we do so on a regular basis. I think we field about maybe 5 appeals per day.
Yeah. Bigfoot, well-known streamer, asked the question to put us on the spot. Says, do you feel like the anti-cheat detection on Chess.com is superior to the chess websites? I would answer that with, it better be. Right. Because of, and from that perspective, I guess I am confident in saying that it likely is. We know it is, but we also have been able to review all of those systems, and we have invested in third parties to audit our data. I'll provide a link here in chat in a second where people can actually access what was a letter of testimonial from head of statistics at Harvard, and we've had to do our due diligence. And the reason I say it better be is because we are prepared and expect that probably at some point we may have to be on the spot, and whether that's in a legal matter or whatever, right? Obviously, if we're trying to act on the best interest of our community and protect a very significant financial investment into our events, then we better be able to catch cheaters and make sure that if and when we close them, we are ready to go to court, right? So I think that without getting into a lot of the other specific statistical reasons why we think what we do is different or unique, and we'll continue to answer math questions if they come, but I would say that the best way to look at it is if we're not doing a better job, then we probably need to rethink the amount of goals we have as far as creating events and opportunities for people online.
Right. Yeah. I would say that I think that anyone who is working on the anti-cheat problem is doing really great work.
Yes.
And so it's not really our place to boast in saying that we've done way more than anyone else. Like they're doing what they can, and it's a valiant effort, I think, by all involved.
I think that's 100% the right point to focus on, right? We are investing a lot in this area because of our goals in this area. So even if we're not the best, let's say it's irrelevant, right? We have to continue to put our best foot forward, and like we said, we can't. I think it would be ridiculous for anyone to claim that there isn't more growth to be had or claim to be perfect, but we can say that maybe we're investing the most into what we would like to see for cheat detection. And on that note, somebody just asked a great question.
Okay, all right, so but just one more point. I think it's really important to note that I think that anti-cheating is advancing far faster than cheating itself. And so that's just from my point of view, like looking into what we do every time, like every year there's so much progress on our side, and I don't see any progress really from the cheating side. So like we're sort of winning the war at the moment.
Well, and one reason why we would say that, but I'll answer that with this question: how mature are the systems? Do you feel like there's a lot of growth to make? Do you feel like we were pretty much as good as we're going to get? So I think there's a lot of growth to be had in the sense that cheaters hit the market first. Right, and at some point overnight, not only did we were discussing at dinner last night, not only did suddenly everybody have an engine, but the engines were free at the tip of your fingers, and it made somebody who just learned how to move the pieces better than Kasparov overnight, right? And this was something that hit 15 years ago, really, right, and changed everything. But I think that over time, as we've been able to establish, and this I'll be getting into a little bit of our system here, we've been able to establish sets of data and statistical analysis that gives us something to compare to. We've been able to make better and better assessments, partly because the cheaters have helped us by cheating and allow us to recognize patterns that are inhuman versus patterns that are human. And so now we're able to look at data, and I think there has been a huge amount of strides made in the last couple of years, but with some of the goals we have for our systems too, I would say that the future is potentially even better.
It's important to know every cheater gives us more data.
Right, every cheater helps us. That's right, especially those that are hard to get.
Right,
and some of them have been. Is there a way of, instead of just banning cheaters, we can upload a virus to their computer and hope it catches the computer on fire and makes it explode?
That is illegal. That is
a great idea, but illegal. Great question though. I feel like I missed another great one. That was a great question.
We got to make sure we're not, doing illegal things to people
we try to avoid some
who may be morally bankrupt, but we don't want to be morally bankrupt too.
So this is a great question that now we're starting to get into the area of how we're able to explain what we do without what we feel is revealing some of our proprietary and confidential system. But this is an interesting question. Chess Bender asks, how do you tell the difference between someone who only cheats in the end game, and we could even say that to different parts of the game, versus someone who is a cheater only part of the time or the whole thing, right? So what can you say about what we do to...
We break down different parts of the game is one thing we can mention. So that's not our actual system, but that's something we do peripherally. So if there is someone cheating in specific parts of the game, we can find that out specifically through that method. So we have all of these different systems for different kinds of cheating as well. So that's something we specialize down to what it is that cheaters do. Right. And we analyze their behavior and work based on that. Right.
And again, if we're starting with of course there are levels of cheating, right? There's a super, like Dracula asked a question as, don't you need more than one game to determine cheating? Sometimes not. Sometimes with some of the stuff we can do, actually the most blatant cheaters will be caught right away.
Sometimes even like a couple of moves.
Sometimes it can be that quick. And one of the big breakthroughs we made this year, I think, was we significantly improved some of the stuff we're able to track and measure as far as the common and easy ways. And on that point, it's less important what the common and easy ways are. The method is becoming less and less relevant as you approach it from a statistical analysis perspective, right? It's when they're analyzing a murder, they don't care what the weapon was, right? If the crime was committed and they have DNA proof and evidence of the
Well, certain people care about the
some people care about the weapon. Yeah. But I'm trying to remove the point of people.
Ultimately, with sentencing,
as a human being, you're often focused on, well, but what if they do this? But what if they do it this way? What if it's not this, right? And I think when you're approaching things from sort of a back end view, where what you're looking at is established patterns that have been proven to be dirty, and therefore established patterns that have been proven to be clean by definition, right? And you're trying to recognize what the area is. Where you can act with certainty.
Right, yeah.
I didn't say too much there.
No, I don't think so.
I danced the line, though.
You did.
Okay, yeah. Roland's going to yell at me about that.
Yeah, right.
Danny,
Maybe don't dance over that one.
But I think that would be the best way to think about it, and that should give people security in their mindset. And yes, most of the time you can't catch somebody one game, but a lot of times you also can.
Right.
There was another good question, but now the chat's actually going very fast with questions. So I'm not going to get to all of these. I think our time is actually almost coming up here. I don't mind jumping into chat for those of you that are here on Chess, and I'm gonna be totally honest. If you asked a question and we didn't get to it, don't be afraid to ask it again.
Yeah.
Gerard and I can both actually log into the Twitch chat and maybe answer some questions if you're interested in that. Turn this into a bit of a.
You can also message me privately on my account is monitor on chess.com.
Monitor.
You can go.
Which is
it's pretty apt.
It's a pretty apt name. And it's ominous, actually, for cheaters, Monitor, because he's always watching.
Right.
But if you indeed did ask a question that you would really like answered, go ahead and send a message to Monitor on Chess.com.
Yep.
I will be following the chat as much as possible for the next hour or so, and we do intend to give you as much information as we can.
Right.
Turn this into a bit of an AMA.
Okay.
And I mean, I assume that it may be time for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of chess being played right now at the Isle of Man, and I think that people are mostly interested in that.
We're bringing back the people who matter now.
We're bringing back the people that matter. We gave them a break. That was really the goal of this. And thank you, everybody, for your questions, and I hope to see more of them, and we'll be on the chat here in just a moment.
Yeah, great hearing.